Hi there. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine. I have a flip through today of a really sweet journal that I created recently from a vintage edition of The Wind in the Willows, which is a classic children's storybook. And I'm so happy with how this little book turned out. The colors are so pretty. They're just soft ivories and greens, and it's just a beautiful little book. I was able to restore the original spine, so it's intact. And you're going to find when I start going through it that there's lots of room in it for you to make this book your own, whether you're a writer or whether you're an artist or a bit of both. You're going to find lots of room to really make this book your own personal journal. I will be sending along with the journal some extra pages that were left over from when I created it, and also some extra tea-dyed papers that were offcuts from the papers I used to put new signatures into the book. And there's just a little rusty paper clip here with a bit of lace on it to hold those together. So let's take a look here at The Wind in the Willows that I've created. This is a nice size book. It is 5 3/4 inches by 8 inches, and the spine is approximately 1 inch. So it's a nice size book. It actually has 112 pages in it and 5 signatures. I've put permanent ribbon closure on the covers so that you'll be able to tie it shut and open it up as you wish, and hopefully you won't lose any of your important papers that you tuck inside. There was a full spread map inside the original text block. You'll see here, front and back, that I have repurposed to become end papers for this book because I was not able to save the original end papers. This book is from 1954, so it's an old book. And although it needed a little bit of help, I think it's become a beautiful book now. This is the original first page for the book, and as you'll see, there's just lots and lots of pages of beautiful soft ivories and shades of green, because I was thinking of, when you think of willow trees and that, I think of soft greens and calming greens, and of course all the little woodland creatures. I tried my best to mostly just use the illustrations that were in the original text block. Ernest Shepard did the illustrations, and he did such a sweet job on the artwork. So I mostly just used his beautiful work to create the extra tuck spots and journaling tags, as you'll see when we start getting into it. Everything in this book comes from repurposed sources. So that's either a thrift store or an antique shop or a garage sale or a charity shop. If I can find it from a repurposed source that it's been previously loved, that's what I put into my journals. In this case, with this journal, the only thing that's new is this rusty little bulldog clip. It looks old, but it's actually new. Also, the glues that I use are new, and the thread that I use to sew the signatures in is new so that it's strong and fresh. Otherwise, papers, everything else, even these leaves, when we get to this, you'll see these all come from secondhand sources. So let's take a look inside. As I said, there's 5 signatures. There's 112 total pages. You can see here the copyright date is 1954. And I've put a full spread from the original book into each signature. So there are at least 5 full spreads of original pages, in addition to lots of original illustrations. So here you'll see I made a bookmark out of the dust jacket that came with it. And there's journaling space on the back of that if you wish. It's blank. There's a little pocket here that I created from the dust jacket with a little bit of lace. There's a little tag here tucked in behind, and this is a tea card with a badger on it because, of course, one of the main characters of The Wind in the Willows is Mr. Badger. And then I tucked some journaling paper into that pocket too. All this tea dyed paper I did myself. This is some vintage music theory test paper. A little tuck spot. I stamped on the side here 1954 as a reminder of what year the original book was published in. And I did a bit of sewing here and there. This is a tea-dyed Rolodex card, and it flips out to give you more journaling space. And there's more journaling space on the music paper as well. Here's a tag I created with one of the illustrations from the book. And there's journaling space on the back. Here's a picture also from the original book. So I used a word snippet from it that says, "Very good friends." And I tucked in a little vintage bridge tally sheet for journaling on. This is an original page from the book. Lots of journaling space for you. Now here's where we come to, and I bet you were wondering what this was when you saw leaves sticking outside. This is a journaling board, so that when you want to write on a page in your book, sometimes it's hard to write in a book because it's kind of soft and mushy. And what you can do is you can put this board, it's hard, it's got journaling space on the back there, and you put the board underneath, and then you can get your pen or your pencil, and it gives you a firm surface to write on. In addition to that, it also just looks cute. I thought that it was appropriate to have some leaves sticking out from a book titled The Wind in the Willows. So that's where those leaves come from. They actually serve a purpose besides being pretty. And you can put this anywhere you want in the book, and your book will still look pretty with those leaves flowing out over the side. Such a cute book. Some blank tea-dyed music paper. This is a pocket spread, a double pocket spread that I created from a double illustration in the book. So they actually blend in to make one picture. And I've just tucked in some tea-dyed papers of various sorts for you to journal on. This is just a music flashcard. A little bit of fabric ruffle there that I actually sewed by hand. Here's another little pocket that I created from the leftover paper dust cover jacket that was on the original book. It was falling apart, but I didn't have the heart to throw it out because the paper was just as pretty as the cover of the book. So I made pockets out of it. I glued it onto cardstock to give it strength again and made pockets out of it. And then there's a little vellum pocket here, and I tucked in some more tea cards that represent other characters that were in the story The Wind in the Willows. So there's little mouse, there's moles, and there's an otter. So I just put those in there. And then, of course, there's more leftover offcuts of paper. And there's also a different version of a bridge tally score sheet. So, and those just fit right in there. But you can put them wherever you like. Another little pocket made still from other scraps from the dust cover jacket. And again, a different version of a bridge score sheet and just a little piece of tiny binder paper for journaling on. Another full page spread from the book. Like I said, there's one in every single signature in the book, and there's 5 signatures. More music theory paper. Another flip out here with some sewing, and another tuck spot here, and I've put in some more tea-dyed paper in an offcut. And I thought this ledger paper with the green was fitting because there's a bit of a theme of green in this book. The final page has the last pocket that I was able to create from that old dust cover jacket. And there's some cute little possums there, tea card. There's a little ticket. And then in the back here, I've put in another, a different game score sheet from a game that's called Word Thief. And some tea-dyed little note paper. And then, of course, it's a Sunnyside journal, so they always go to their new home with one of my Two Nanas bookmarks. And that gets tucked in there, too. So that is The Wind in the Willows that I have created into a journal from this beautiful 1954 edition of this book. This journal will be listed in my Etsy shop within the next day or two. I will announce when I know more for sure on my Instagram account. So you can always follow along on my Instagram account, and usually I will post as soon as I know when I have the listing set up on Etsy when it goes live, so that if you want to, you can head on over there and take a look. Maybe this is the journal for you. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this flip through, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.